And the best business I started when the worst times. The biggest industries in the world, everyone started after. You should know how to sell ideas, how to sell vision, how to sell anything, because what you lack, another person has.
Assalamu alaikum, dear brothers and sisters. Welcome again to Dhof Media Podcast, where we want to discuss some real life lessons about being successful. And today, as usual, we are joined by one of the greatest, one of the most successful entrepreneur, call him Mr. Mohamed. Welcome again.
Thank you, dear viewers. As a routine, me and Rajab, we run this show together, and it has been quite a few months together, alhamdulillah, as we evolve this show, and we want to make this the best entrepreneurship platform here in Kenya and Africa. We want to inspire other African entrepreneurs. So welcome back to this show. We are co-hosting, but this time, since I'm the main guest, he's going to ask me questions about my experience, one or two things that I can add to you value.
Yeah.
So thank you, Rajab, for welcoming me back.
Okay, thank you so much. And when people get to hear or get to learn about Mr. Mohamed, many people, let's say like few people know you.
Yes.
But more would love to know you.
So
When you talk about Mr. Mohamed, who is Mr. Mohamed?
okay, Mr. Mohamed is a young entrepreneur living here in Kenya, but had a good, alhamdulillah, nice upbringing from a great family background, alhamdulillah. Early life, I'm blessed. I've never struggled. We came from a middle class family. That is one thing. I went through the system like any other, from high school to primary to university. My high school, I finished from primary and high school. I finished Aburera Academy, and university. I went to the University of Nairobi. I did BCom Finance, alhamdulillah, and there, at least, I joined like any other graduates in the job hunting environment, and then later things evolved. I worked for a company, and later I started founding my own companies and my own things.
And talking about schools and real life experiences, most graduates, after graduating and coming out to the society, they say that we regret going to the school. We don't know why we were wasting time. What are some of the lessons that when you reflect back, you say that this I didn't learn while I was in school. I got the lessons in the society that shaped you to where you are right now?
I think one big lesson I've learned is no one is coming to save you. That is just a great point, because everyone after graduation, they are their own. Yes, the university teaches us, like any other, graduate this subject, there's going to be, and then millions of us are graduating from universities across Africa, across the world, and it is a world phenomenon. Now things are no longer the 60s, the 70s, when you finish high school, the job market will absorb you. Now we have millions of ungraduated, millions of graduates, but they lack the right jobs because they were trained to work for industries. But here in Africa, we are not growing the number of industries. We are not, and then the universities were training students to be creative and to make things. I think it could have been the opposite. Whoever graduates will have built a business or something from scratch, from idea, but those disciplines were not taught. The university teaches us like instruction, do this. Once you are graduate, you're going to get jobs. And then once we are released to the world, even we are half-baked. All graduates, that's a phenomenon. Whenever they go to a job, if someone studies a media, for example, you studied media. When you came to this media house, you never knew a lot of things. But today, through practice, through sweat, through other things, through commitment, you're able to clear your word, you're able to know how to edit, how to do this. The rest in the university is too much stories, too much theories. I think one thing I've learned outside from after graduation is no one is coming to save you. It's upon you to save yourself, do the right necessary things, and work hard. A lot of us, we are dreaming, once you come out from the hands of your parents, I think the world is, and then your parents were pushing you at the university, you are just joking, partying, but life, and I think the hardest university is outside, after campus. And all of you who are watching and who are coming across this video, you will attest. Yeah.
Okay. And let's talk about entrepreneurship, business.
Yes.
You have come out of school and you get employed. But your mind was never in creating or establishing schools. How comes right now when you talk about Mr. Mohamed, we see 8 schools behind you?
I think first it's a blessing from God. After God, I think I'm a believer of God. After God is a thing that I thought about it. You know, I've worked for employment for 7 months, 8 months, but something in me was calling to do a greater things. God was calling me to have a larger impact. You know, when you pray to God, whatever you ask, God gives you. If you ask for a job, you get a job.
Get a job, yeah.
But if you ask more responsibility, more stress, and more things, you know, more stress means more income, yes? But can you carry the burden? I think that ability. And then one thing, a lot of people were doubting me as a young man at 25, 26 years. Then I was so young. I think my ears were this, and I was tiny to represent part of the schools. I think first meetings I went was Likoni, directors meetings, and people could hardly notice me as just a young boy, just a young man coming, because I was meeting with old men. Whenever they ask you, are you a director of a certain school? The brand is Imam Shafi Schools. Oh, you know, I'm just a manager. You understand?
Yeah.
But I could wear officer's coat sometimes. You understand? But the vision and the mission in my mind was there. But I think it came to me later after working 7 months that I think God is calling me for greater things. I must establish things as of today, alhamdulillah. I think if not 100 plus, we are almost 150 staffs are working with us, different investors, different institutions, have leased lands. Alhamdulillah, all of us, we are growing together. And I think, in fact, there's a story, one of my classmates and few of our former classmates, there's a day one of them told me we were discussing a group's discussion that they were saying, Mohamed is starting a school. Could he manage? Could he do it? The conversation I was told the other day, just 3 days back from this episode, someone told me he was having a strategy session with me. I was giving the ideas and everything. Then once we are done here, she told me, or she was a lady or someone, one of our among us, we were discussing, we were saying, could Mohamed make to a school? And today, whenever they tune on their TV, they're seeing our ads. And then, like, you know, sometimes you can shock people. First is the God's miracle. Second is, those days I believed I'm going to run a group of schools, and God has helped me. And everything, the center of my success belongs to God. It's Him who had blessed me more. And then second thing is, you know, when you get your parents' blessing, no one can stop you. And then the rest is history.
Okay, and let's take these 2 scenarios. Finding yourself in a meeting of all the individuals, and there is also a group of young men asking themselves, is Mr. Mohamed going to make it in this business? That shows they don't have the courage.
Yeah.
Or they feel like this guy is going to strike somewhere.
Yeah.
He's not going to make
School
it.
is tough business.
Yeah. What advice can you give to those young individuals who are stuck somewhere?
Okay, those young individuals, I think the advice I can give them, just act and start now. But first, I think what they can do, the first starting point is they can stack skills. Yes, that's the founding for it. In fact, before skills is the mindset. Always I say 80% is the mindset. It's how you believe.
Yes.
Because when I had nothing, when I had I had little resource. But what I had was the mindset, the ambition, and I believed in God. You know, when you believe God, you have all the ambition and you are taking massive action. God will provide you the right resource, the right people will appear. You know, those days I remember I started with few desks, few things, there and there, but God was with me, and then things went on well. Within 3-4 years, I think the compounding effect was happening. Today, alhamdulillah, as I watch here, in fact, more school owners are coming to me as they age to come and take over their business. And if you are a school owner with right population, you can make a business here. I think we can make you retire and go home, rest, and then as we take over that business, you collect your rents and we can lease, or we see other options that are on the table. So sometimes a lot of elderly men are blessing me more because I'm making them retire. As a young man, I'm coming into their dream and then taking forward. You know, you can go to another person's business and do it well because you listen to his vision and then you continue the legacy even in much better, because school requires extreme energy, resource, and the right efforts. So I think I could advise them, first change their mindset. The first thing, skill stacking. And the first skill, any entrepreneur here in Africa, go and learn the selling skills. You should know how to sell ideas, how to sell vision, how to sell anything. Because what you lack, another person has. Resource in terms of mindset or manpower. You know, you want to employ someone, you must convincing. As the business owner, you must know how to get the right employees, yes? Because they're applying, then you have to select the best. Those best will build your business. You must know how to sell your product, how to sell yourself. So selling is number one skill. Second is the rest. But the first thing is, I will advise them mindset. They should know the selling skills, communications. The third, I think you know how to have communication skills and mastery. I think those one I can advise them. Yes.
Okay, and let's talk about some of the life lessons that you have encountered, because we are talking about you taking over people's businesses. What are these lessons that you have learned that you have that courage?
One, I think pain is a great teacher. Yes, any pain is not a punishment. It's a great teacher. You know, when you undergo pain, you lose businesses, you lose other things. God is not punishing you. He's making you grow, think, and learn that next time don't repeat this. They say you have not failed. You have to look for next results. You know, you have to look for the next solution, or failing is not the you get the different results or objective. So you change. If this one could not work, this one else could work. Yes?
Yeah.
That's one thing. Second thing, I've learned a lesson. Reading is to lead. You know, after university teaches us the other way around. But here in life, you have to read the right books, the right mentors. You must also invest in yourself in terms of mentorship, in terms of reading the right books that are written by either business people who went through the trenches, who have scars in business. You understand? You know, when someone tells you he has run a business, I know many business people, we go through a lot. At night, we don't sleep. We think about, during the corona, all the properties we have leased, I was being, sometimes the landlords are calling you, the agents, or the rental collectors, they're calling you. But what will you do? All the stuff's at home. You are now carrying the extra burden. How do you feel? Imagine. You have been threatened. Someone now calls you. Others have testified, and they told me they've been, the rent collectors, what do you call the agents, will harass you, will abuse you. Others. Sometimes they call the auctioneers to drag you in front of others that you are failing, and then those who have not started business will laugh at you. Yeah. You see, we told you. That's the African way. But I think that was another lesson. Don't chase the money, chase mastery. Mastery is, if you in your field you're good something, focus that thing. If you're solving certain problem, either it's cleaning or you're doing something, or you focus the mastery on how to solve the problem, then money follows you back. But if you focus money, you cheat the work. Once you cheat the work, you don't have a business. You understand?
Yeah.
And then believe in silence, because the world is running day and night. You must have a moment to draw back yourself or think back what things, how are they working. In life it's like a car. You have to sit down and reflect what is working and what's not working. I think with those key points, I think those are the lessons I've learned. Then I think that's what I can share for now.
Okay, and as we prepare to wind up, reflecting on Corona, talking about all the challenges that you went through at your age, because I believe there is a young man outside there with all those challenges. If it's not about committing suicide, he will lose hope. Yeah. What is your advice to the young man and also young men outside there?
Okay, young man, I will tell one thing, and I will advise: never lose focus. Let us know that the world, or in the last 6,000 years, the sun was coming from east and going
to the west.
Is it going to change?
No.
We have, after every boom, there is bust. Boom, bust. Yes. In businesses, now people are complaining here in Kenya and Africa, situation is worse. Yes. But after there's a trough, sometimes life will go up. So business people know that life is two ways. See? You understand? And God has a purpose when people are having boom and bust. When there is a bust, there's a lot of people will get out of business. Others will be created. You understand? Yeah. Others will rise the ladder. And the best business are started when the worst times. The biggest industries in the world, everyone started after. Most companies in America were started after the Great Depression in 1932, if I'm not wrong. A lot of companies were starting when others were existing of the business. Others started. Within few years, God is God. We have two things, everything, yes? We have two seasons, up, down, we have winter, you understand? And even life is the same. Today we are young, energetic, but time will come when we're exiting business, when others are coming to buy our businesses, yes? Yeah. Nothing is perfect, nothing is permanent. Everything will come, and every show will end one day, yes? But how it's going to end determines you. If your kids are going to inherit your business, if you're going to prepare, most African entrepreneurs, we don't involve our families to the business. As a Somali person, we are coming of that. Most Somalis, we are involving, but the best people who can be taken example are the Asians here in Africa, across the world. It's a culture. The Arabs, the Indians, they evolve with their kids, with the business, yes? Yeah. But most Africans, the father does, the one who started the vision. Then once he dies, people are fighting for the inheritance. Once the inheritance is done, the business collapses. Because brothers are fighting, instead of him writing the will, instead of him taking the children when they're in school, he's taking through the business, then they could learn. But most African businesses are just one generational. After the next generation, it's done. Fulani. Now they start having those properties. After the properties they sell, the children are on a drug addicts or other things. After all, they are ready to work for others. And instead of the parent building, I think that is one thing as entrepreneurs we are wrong, and I'll advise myself and others, let us focus that area. Let us involve our children early enough. They run our business. I think those are the things you said I'm advising young people on the next entrepreneurs.
Yeah. Okay, and maybe just a one answer question. Apart from schools, do you have the intention or the goal of venturing into other businesses?
Yes, alhamdulillah. Already I've invested other businesses, but the pipeline is long. Still young. Not only schools, we say we should have multiple income of streams. I am a believer of multiple income of streams. If you tell me tomorrow you have a car wash somewhere, it's generating a certain amount and you are selling, we are ready to take over. If you have a school business, if you have anything, a business is a game. Yeah. The moment you know how to play, like a chess is a board, is something that you start enjoying. But the game is tough. The game requires stamina, exercise. It requires experience. It requires reading a lot of things, psychologically, marketing, and you should have all these right skills. One is God provides you that, and then another thing is the belief. Once you have that extra belief that things are going to turn out well, and then you know that business is like a die. There's two sides of a coin. Either you make it or you fail. But what you do as a seasoned businessman or business lady, you should your chances will be in favor. Your chances will be great if you are having the right skills, and then you do your due diligence. If this business, I'm going to make it or not. Then Warren Buffett says 2 rules of business. Rule number 1, in terms of investment, never lose money in investment. Rule number 2, go back to rule number 1. Why? What is the main emphasis here?
Profit.
Not profit. You never lose the principal amount of money. Don't just go to gamble a business. Go deep that business, study. Do you have a passion? Can you drive this business the next 20 years? Do you know this ABCD? If it's a car wash, will you have the right time? Can you employ the right people who can take care without you being there? Yes. Can it run itself? Is it in the right location? Once you calculate, a seasoned businessman knows. And then he says that 80% of this business I can take and tilt it. Now that's when you go in. But now your odds of success will be so great that chances of losing is minimum. Always you lose. If you invest 5 things, make sure two investment hits well. Then the other 3 you are losing will be recovered by the 2 investments you made. It's making huge profit for you. Then anything within the 5 you not betted. In business we don't bet. We calculate and we take calculated risk. Mm-hmm. If you see this thing is too much, you leave. If you don't have the ability, if this business will consume you, those are the advice I could give to any entrepreneur who's coming out.
Okay. So I think it's been a few minutes, but very educative from our very own entrepreneur, Mr. Ayanle. Great motivation, great talk. And you can get more of these from our YouTube channels. I think thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Rajab.
Maybe you can just give us a hint of what we expect tomorrow, the other episode.
Yeah, we're expecting better episodes on the way, alhamdulillah. Maybe before the end of this year, we'll have high-end guests in this show. Rajab will be here. Sometimes I'll be co-hosting. But inshallah, dear viewers, you should be sticking with this channel. Inshallah, it's going to make, and you are making history. When the channel is small, you are with us, you support us. We really enjoy and like it. So what you do, you comment down there. Any business advice you like and any help for your business, whether you own a school, that's my great expertise. Whether you want a marketing concept, whether you want content creation, we are there to help you. Comment down there. We are there to come and help you, either consult you, give you strategy session. Yeah. I think with those, Rajab, what do you say?
I don't have any other thing to say. Just bye-bye.
Bye-bye. See you next episode.